You wanna know the biggest secret to being able to retire? It's realizing when you have enough. And what makes that hard is emotionally, psychologically, we'll never feel like we have enough money. I was a retirement advisor for over 20 years before I retired myself, and I helped guide hundreds of people into retirement. And you know what the common thread was for those folks? People from 500,000 to 1,000,000 to tens of millions of dollars. It really didn't matter how much money they have. It never felt psychologically like they had enough. In fact, there was a study that was done by Boston College, and they looked at the people that gave gifts to the college endowment. And they did that because they wanted to better understand their donors. But one of the questions they asked was, "Do you feel financially secure? And if you do not, how much would you need financially to feel financially secure?" And you know what's surprising? People with $50 million, $100 million, they reported that even they don't feel financially secure. So that mental challenge that you may be feeling right now, know that that's normal, and know that almost without exception, no matter how much money you have, once you have enough that you know you're in the ballpark of being able to retire, once you have that amount, it's very normal to think, "I need twice as much." And Morgan Housel is the author of a book called The Psychology of Money, and he talks about these moving goalposts. And one of the secrets to succeeding financially is to keep those goalposts from moving. Now, you wanna make sure you have the goalposts in the right place. You wanna make sure when you do a financial plan that you have enough money to retire. And for that, I think you work with a financial advisor because like I said, we're all handicapped because, we're gonna think that we need more money, but it can be really helpful to have somebody that's helped guide hundreds of people into retirement, and mea culpa, as I said earlier, that's what I did for over 20 years. But I know a lot of folks are not gonna do that, and if that's you, if you want to do it yourself, boy, if you build it in Google Sheets or Excel, it's easy to make a mistake, but how do you get over that mental hurdle? I think one way you do that is you use software designed to help guide you through not just the numbers, but all the other aspects. And the good news is there's several different providers of great software. It's not that expensive to use. The software that I like is called Bolden, used to be called New Retirement. You can click on it in the link in the description. This video is not sponsored by them, but I am an affiliate, so you'll be supporting the channel. But getting a plan, however you get that plan, and being able to run through, okay, how much could I spend every month and have a reasonable likelihood of never running out of money? And there's rules of thumb. Many of you have heard of the 4% rule. Says that, if you have a portfolio of 60% stocks, 40% bonds, right around in that neighborhood, um, you have a really good chance if you take out 4% a year of that portfolio of never running out of money over a 30-year period. And I think that's a good, rule of thumb to get you in the ballpark, but I don't think it gives you enough confidence. I don't think it gives you enough clarity to get that peace of mind that you want. And that's why you want to work with a financial advisor or use that software. But just knowing um, that our psychology is working against us, and it's just normal to always think that we need more money, and if your goal is to be the richest person in the cemetery, keep doing that. Um, the way to optimize how much money you have, if you wanna optimize on your bank account, is work until a couple months before you die. But none of us want that. That's not what I want, and I know that's not what you want either. So, think about optimizing on life as opposed to optimizing on your bank account. And one way to do that is there's a really good book that will get you thinking in kind of the right way. I was gonna write a book like this, but the author, Bill Perkins, did such a good job. It's like, I can't write a book better than that. And so the book's called Die with Zero, and it really talks about using your money while you still have the health and the energy to use it. And even though at 70, I hope to be able to be doing some trips in that, am I still gonna be climbing up to the top of a volcano like I did in Guatemala, 9 months ago? Probably not. There's an age, and unfortunately for me, it's coming sooner than I want, where I won't be able to do adventures like that. I call this period of our lives the youth of our senior years. It's when we have the trifecta in life. We still have time in front of us. Hopefully, we still have our health, and we have more money likely than we've ever had in our life. So we have all 3, and that's a very special time. I mean, think back to your 20s. When you were 20, you had you had time and you had lots of health. You had lots of time and lots of health, but we didn't have much money. And then we got into, the core of our lives where many of us were raising kids and paying down the mortgage and saving for retirement, saving for college, things like that. And that was a time of deep, heavy responsibilities. And it was also, for me, extremely rewarding. But looking back, it was exhausting. And now I'm in, again, what I call the youth of my senior years, from the time I'm 55 until the time that I lose my health. And unfortunately, at 60 years old, most of us are only going to have 1,000 weeks of healthy active time remaining. And I hope you have a lot more than that. But I want to put it in terms like that just to help stress the specialness and um, the the nature, how quickly this time is gonna pass for us. And I want you to squeeze all the juice out of that youth of your senior years that you can. And so again, that book, Die with Zero, is a good one. And another thing is just thinking about when's the right time for you to retire. And you wanna be sure, absolutely, you wanna be sure you have enough money. Um, but you know what? You'll never get certainty. What I think we're going for is clarity and confidence. Why will we never get certainty? Well, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we're going to get sued and we're going to lose some of our money. Maybe we're going to end up getting divorced. I don't wish that in anybody, but that's a reality. Things happen in life. And so a lot of people want certainty, but what I tell them is strive for confidence and strive for clarity. And one of the ways that you get there is by having a good financial plan. And the gold standard to have a financial plan is to work with a fiduciary financial advisor, somebody that hopefully has helped hundreds of people and guided them into retirement, because they'll bring to you sorry if you can hear the dog barking in the background. They'll bring to you the wisdom of having helped all those other families. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, if you want to do it yourself, don't use Google Sheets, don't use Excel, use software designed for you. The software I like is called Bolden. It used to be New Retirement. You can find a link for it in the description below. Uh, and you'll be supporting the channel. Thank you. But really focus on getting as much information as you can so that you can make the right decision. But ultimately, it's a leap of faith. And that's why the next video of mine that I think you should watch about taking that leap of faith is why waiting to 65 to retire might be a big mistake and why you might want to take that leap sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.